Hi everyone, my name is Alliyah and welcome back to my podcast. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about why it's important to be careful of the content you consume online, in video format, or even in music. Now, if this is the type of thing you want to talk about, or if this is the type of thing you want to learn more about, stay tuned and let's get into the episode. Now, a lot of us are very, very guilty of simply following accounts that may have been relevant once upon a time to us, and we just don't unfollow them, and we just constantly, look at their posts or just flick through and scroll and scroll and scroll. The average adult at the moment is scrolling and using social media for about 2.5 hours a day. Now, if you've got a positive purpose behind your scrolling and your social media usage, great. But if you're just doing it for the sake of it, think about all the amazing things you could do with that time. And I will actually be recording a podcast on that because I think it's really, really important that we understand that habit of even scrolling or just with no purpose looking through social media for 2 hours a actual day is resulting in over 600 hours a actual year, which think of all the amazing things we could achieve with that type of, time on our hands. But today I want to talk to you about why. Yeah, let's be really honest. The real reason why it's important for you to be careful of the content that you're actually taking in and consuming and digesting by your brain. If you constantly watch things that are making you feel down, be real. How do you think it's going to leave you feeling after you've scrolled for 2 hours or so? Now, the after effect is your vibes are going to be low. You're going to be in a bit of a darker place than you were potentially when you started scrolling. You're going to start feeling negative. You're going to start putting yourself down. You'll start going to think all these rubbish things about yourself. You're going to start putting everything into a different perspective. And suddenly, rather than manifesting anything amazing, you're putting yourself bloody down, and you're putting yourself further down by the more you go down the actual list of the feed of all these people. What we always forget, and I say always because I'm even guilty of this, is a lot of the actual material online is actually fake. Sponsored, for example, endorsed by companies, things like this to make us purchase into their perfect lifestyle. The biggest example I can give you is the dishwater tea. Now, I call it dishwater tea because it's those tea bags that people have been flogging on things like Instagram, for example, for years, that actually tell you that, oh, you can lose up to, 60 kg of weight, in this X amount of weeks by drinking this, this tea. Well, yeah, you're going to end up losing some weight because once you've tasted that tea, you need to literally drink loads and loads and loads of water to get rid of that rubbishy taste out of your mouth. But the truth is that tea bag isn't worth what they're selling it for, and that person selling it to you did not, I repeat, did not drink that tea to look that teeny tiny. Chances are they've just got a fast metabolism. They're one of the blessed ones that have got a fast metabolism. These are the things that we don't actually register until afterwards, and they were like, aha, makes a lot of sense now. But think about it. Social media for a lot of people is now a business. What they're selling online, they're making money from, of course. So it's a business. Of course, they want you to think that you're going to look super hot after drinking dishwater tea bags and all these other things as well. Or if you buy their waist trainer, you're suddenly going to have a booty that pops and all this malarkey. They're in it for money. They're not in it to make you feel better. They're not in it because they believe in it. It's about money. Think about it. If you go onto the high street, do you honestly believe every person that works in a shop actually believes 100% in the products they're selling? No, it's a job. That's exactly what you're dealing with online. People are getting paid to advertise stuff. The higher, I suppose, their social media stature, the more they're getting paid, the more rubbish they're going to throw at you. And then you're going to start feeling bad. When you see all these people, for example, with their perfect homes, and you think to yourself, crap, I've got 2 kids. My house doesn't look like that. Oh my God, I'm not able to make those breakfast dishes for my children, on a school day. I'm just lucky if they have cereal. And honestly, I am with you on that one. If I can actually get my 2 to even take 2 tablespoons of goddamn cereal in the morning on a school day, it's a blessing. It is a blessing. But these social media accounts are having me believe there's people out there cooking organic oats and baking them and serving them with all these fruits. So they're getting 5 portions of fruit and veg in the morning, and then they're having a glass of organic milk as well, and they're going to school bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. No, they're bloody not. They're trying to sell you something. It's marketing. It is marketing. They're marketing things to us in a way that makes us want to better ourselves, whilst we're lining their pockets. Now, the way we better ourselves is we develop self-love for ourselves, and we do not fall for that type of marketing, but it takes time to become wiser. And it's happening up and down the country, all around the world. You can go into any Instagram social media account and you will see people following accounts that are both good, bad and ugly. And when I say ugly, I'm on about these accounts that have got millions of followers or even hundreds of thousands of followers who are taking sponsored content and pushing it down the throat of their followers and making them feel like crap. I just wish you would stop it, because quite frankly, there was a time when social media, when it was starting out, gave everybody positive feelings and positive vibes, and now it's a case of it is unsocial and it is so negative. Trying to find somebody positive to follow literally is hard. The ones that are extremely positive are now higher up the game and everybody knows about them. People coming up are struggling, because if you haven't got like a grid that's showing all these photogenic images of your children, ready at 6 a.m. in the morning to get onto the school bus at 8 o'clock, or if you're not like a size 6 or smaller and you're not looking perfect with the perfect husband and the perfect job, then people don't necessarily want to buy into whatever it is that you're actually selling. Now, what am I selling? Well, I'm selling the idea that you need to have your self-empowerment back. You need to build your confidence and you need to transform yourself into an amazing human being that you are worthy of being. You do not need to be downtrodden. You need to own you. This is your life. You're only going to live it once. Do it in a way that you're happy and proud of. Now, what could I possibly be achieving from that? Well, obviously, if you look at my account and if you look at other people's account, I try to keep my account real. I'm trying to produce content that I think resonates. I'm not doing anything that I, would hide from anybody, for example. So I'm not doing anything that's like scary or anything. I'm quite brutally honest. And for a lot of people, brutality of honesty is not a good thing. They would rather be sold a dream. So they would rather consume that type of negative content, and that will leave them feeling down. They'll start doubting themselves. For example, when you do see that size 6 woman with the perfect life, with the perfect penthouse and all these things, and you're sitting there in your fleecy pajamas thinking, I've just come back from 12 hours at work and I feel down. I'm now going to consume a whole packet of Pringles and I'm going to cry myself and wallow in self-pity. No, I'm not for that, because you're worth so much more. But you seriously need to stop taking in that negative content. Same thing goes for if you're trying to manifest amazing things into your life and you're binge watching stuff that makes you feel low. Why are you doing that to yourself? Stop it. Why are you binge watching stuff that leaves you in a negative place? You're taking your vibe into a negative place. You're taking your thoughts into a negative place. And that in turn is going to manifest as negativity. It is going to make you feel down. It's going to decrease your manifestation superpowers. It's going to do all these things. Okay, you can't remain a happy-go-lucky, yoga bunny or whatever it is 24/7. And I'm not saying you should. However, be careful of what you're consuming. Be careful. If you're careful over what you're eating and drinking, surely you understand why it's important for you to be careful of what you're consuming mentally, because mental health is so, so important. And with mental health, we do need to be extra, extra careful, because not everything has a label on it. Like it does say, for example, if you're buying a chocolate bar, everything's labelled. Not every program is going to have that type of labelling. Not every social media account has that type of labelling. You are the one who needs to process it and make that call, or whether or not it should be consumed by you. And this is so, so, so important. Go through your social media feeds, and if there's accounts that leave you feeling down, even give you sort of ill vibes, any of this stuff, unfollow them. Seriously, do yourself a favor, do your mental health a favor, and do your manifestation superpowers a favor. Unfollow them. You don't need to consume that. No one has the right to make you feel that way. No one. If you're watching a program, you're binge watching a television show that's making you feel absolutely diabolically low, stop watching it. If you're watching horror films and they're leaving you with anxiety, don't watch them. I know somebody who was watching crime programs and they loved crime programs. And when they became a parent, they sort of continued on with watching the crime programs, and then suddenly one day started feeling very, very, very antsy about watching crime programs. And when I asked them why they were feeling so low and about everything, and they actually said that they'd watch an episode about a baby being kidnapped. Now, as a new parent, that is one of the biggest fears people have, anything happening to their new child. Why on earth would you watch anything that could create anxiety, that could make you feel low, could make you feel bad, and actually increase your anxiety as a parent in particular? Why would you do that? I suggested that she stopped watching them. It took a bit of a time frame, so to speak, for her to stop it because she was so used to watching these type of programs, but she did eventually do it, and then afterwards actually admitted that she felt so much better not watching that type of stuff and actually watching stuff that was fairly random. She enjoyed watching cartoons. I mean, whatever, floats your boat, but reduce negative input. Anything that is negative going into your skull, reduce it, stop it, cut it out, reduce it completely, cut it. Do whatever you need to do to eliminate any negative vibes going in that will then be processed and manifest in a negative way. Do the same for even music, for example. If you're trying to empower yourself in regards to becoming confident and you're trying to manifest, say, an amazing new man, for example, and you're sitting there listening to songs that are hating on men or hating on women or hating on love in general, you're consuming that. You're going to manifest it into your life. Just don't do it. Stop listening, and these are the type of, realities that we face. We do need to accept responsibility of what we actually watch, what we hear, what we read. We then consume and we digest, and it will manifest. How? Well, I guess that's the thing. For each and every one of us, it can be different, but it will manifest because your brain has processed it. It's gone through your system and it will start to appear in your life. That is why it is super important for you to be careful of what you consume on social media, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever it is that you're accessing. You need to be careful of what it is that you're actually consuming. If you're on social media and you're seeing all these glamorous accounts, take it with a pinch of salt. Also understand that there's many accounts out there where they've got loads of followers and they've worked hard to get their followers. No one's going to deny that. They worked hard to get to where they are. They've got hired help in the background, cutting up that fruit and make sure that child has it for 6 o'clock in the morning. Don't put yourself under a microscope you don't need to be under, because you certainly don't need to literally rip yourself apart and compare yourself to these people. You are unique. You are you. You are more than worthy. You are enough. Just be careful of what you're consuming. With that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap up today's episode. I hope you found this episode useful. I believe in you guys, and I honestly hope you believe how amazing you are, because you are so bloody amazing. You're fantastic and you're worth so much more than you can actually imagine. It's crazy how much we put ourselves down and how we compare ourselves to other people, and then we're taking in all these negative messages and we don't actually realize it. The brain takes in more negative messages than positive, and that's why we encourage things like affirmation work to try and counterbalance that. But it's a lot of work that we need to put in ourselves. Now, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up today's episode. If you've liked what you've heard, guys, don't forget to share the podcast. Let people know what it is that we're actually trying to achieve. Let people know what we're here for. Get more people involved, because the more people that know about what it is that we're trying to actually achieve, the more transformations we can spark, the more people we can reach, and the more amazingness we can actually spread. So with that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next podcast. Take care and see you all then.